Marty McFly, King of Receipts.
Miss McFly, you agree or you disagree with the Lion's Den, my brother?
Oh man. Well, shoot. All right. Well, what's the biggest disagreement about how white dudes are getting the cream of the crop?
No. All right. The first issue, the first discussion is around does your race play a role dating overseas?
Absolutely.
Does it matter?
Depends on who you're talking to. But
yeah,
it does
but
make
there's just the typical black man going overseas, would he do well in these countries, like honestly, based on the odds and percentages, whatever.
Which country?
Not only would he do well, the second question is, do we choose the bottom of the barrel?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, hey, Marty. Speak on it, man.
All right. Will you do well? Now, if we talk an average, no, it's not happening, which is what you currently see. When you go to places like Colombia, right? What do you see? You see bottom of the barrel fishing. Now, I'm not saying it's a monolith where it's 100%, but let's be clear. These guys are not getting the strata 4s, strata 5s.
All right.
Not at all.
Are they not getting? Are they not even pursuing?
Even if they wanted to pursue, they couldn't get them. That's what I'm saying.
Why is that? I'm curious as to why that is.
Okay, it's a I'm changing camera angles. I'm playing with my new system here, but it's a multitude of factors, right? We'll just take it with the most basic. 9 times out of 10, they don't know the language, right? They're gonna be the weekend warriors. I'm gonna save up 6 months, and I'm gonna be Diddy, no Diddy for a weekend. That's what typically is what you see. No cap. I don't care who's mad about it. Nobody's going over there making connections. You even got guys who go to these countries for 10, 12 years at a clip, don't know anybody, can't speak the language, don't own shit. Tell me I'm lying. Shoulder shrug. That is the truth. And this is why, everything is congruent with each other. Because if you go over there, you're not going to be able to shake the P for P stench. And people can smell it on you as a local. And what happens is, the reason why most of these people are getting sent to the upper room is because they go over there, they don't know anybody, they're Tinder warriors, they're on zesty quests to fulfill a fantasy they've seen in rap videos. But the truth of the matter is they're getting like the bottom of the barrel. And in contrast to American women, it's probably a step up from what they're used to. Absolutely. But the conversation here is, are they getting the cream of the crop? Now, that's not to say every white dude gets the cream of the crop, although there's a home court advantage. Y'all know what that is. There is a little bit of advantage when you got the upper hand. What you do with the upper hand once you got it is up to you. Now, in contrast, even if you don't have the best hand dealt, if you could still work magic if you know what you're doing. This is why it's important to, when you go to travel, I would say the first thing is try to at least be conversational. I'm in Brazil, by the way. I expatriated out to Brazil. I live here. So this is not some basement dwelling guy who does not have receipts, who does not have the best of receipts that can back up everything he says, because I talk my ish, but everything I say is clearly, put it to you like this. My last trip to Colombia, before everything got super zesty, right? I did photo shoots, video shoots for about 2 weeks straight. You remember that, Canal, right?
Yep.
One of the girls, I'm gonna just give you one of the girls. One of the girls I shot is now Miss Medellin. She's competing for the whole, they got this big contest right now where they're Miss Venezuela. I don't know exactly what it's called, but she is the representative for the country some of you Ninja Turtles go to. you would never have the opportunity to sniff this girl. I don't care. It's just because people don't go there with the same mindset as I go there. And I'm not saying I'm brilliant or nothing like that. What I am saying is there's certain key things people do not hit when they travel, which is why they run into trouble, which is why they run into the same girls. You see the same guys talk to the same girls. And it's actually kind of sad because, you know, what they'll do, they'll talk to the same girls. They'll go on Zesty Quest to get the other guy's girl that he was there with last month. Look, I had her too. She was mine for a weekend. Me too. And, you know. I got another,
because this is going to comment. Somebody put a comment in, and I've had this before. I dated a, man, where was she from? It was somewhere in, she had to be like Arabic, maybe like Palestinian, Pakistani, something like that. Fair skin though. Mm-hmm. Love the brother. Love the brother. Matter of fact, I'll even go further. I had a good friend of mine. He dated an Indian. She was Hindu. Beautiful. This girl was beautiful. They dated for, man, I'm telling you, like 5 years. He left the state we were in to go to Michigan together because she got a job. After all that, that love, all that caring, she said, look, I can't marry you. I can't bring you home. I can't do this. So do you think that even though the generation may like you, Marty, they like you, you're a good brother, but when they know they can't take you home, they know that you're not light enough to be welcomed by the family.
See, that I could have saved him 5 years. That's why they call me Marty McFly. I go all through time. Like I could have told him straight up, because the thing about it is, and this is the truth, this is going to hurt a lot of people's hearts. You're going to another man's patriarchy. You don't have one. You got this bullshit matriarchy, 50-50, whatever this is, whatever you guys are dealing with in America. I don't even live there anymore, but that's what y'all coming from. Y'all raised by women, taught by women, and then you go and bring that nonsense to other countries thinking that you're going to assimilate. It's not going to happen, because the truth of the matter is, she has a family system, especially Hindus. I would have told him, listen, Hindus are very family oriented, even more so than South America. Everything's about saving face, so to speak, right? So you can't go over there, because I know you said the average black man. Average black man, to me, when we go into statistics, is $50,000 to $52,000 a year, right? Now, if you're going to take that woman from her country, and I wouldn't recommend it, and move her back, she's going to have to work, right? But she's coming from a patriarchy where, in most cases, arranged marriages, depends on which part of the region you're going to. But even if it's not an arranged marriage, she still has a family structure where she can stay at home until she marries and marries a guy who understands her language, understands her culture. You know, does this guy know in 5 years, did he know how to speak Hindi?
No, it got broke. This is how she broke it down. And I know I'm gonna bring somebody up after this. Just to let you know, I see Tobias in the background. I got Ronan, Buck, the pad, play without a passport. He back there, and Ulysses. We'll bring you up. But here's how it went. The family broke it down. First, her older sister, she was with a guy. He was Indian. And the dad said, hey, are you from North India? You from South India? What tribe you in? So the fact that he wasn't in the same state, and that was still shaky. The next one got with a white dude. And it was like, I don't know how you bring this white dude in this house. He better be something special. The third one was with a brother. She ain't ever bring him home. I can't even bring him home. He can't even be considered to come in. That's how crazy it was. It's right. I can't consider him coming in.
Notice you said when she brought the white dude home, he had a chance.
He had a chance.
Because, and that's where the home court advantage comes to play. It doesn't guarantee them a win, but it is an advantage. You at least get a crack at it. It's because it's not true, but the perception is white people come from a patriarch, which in most cases they do. White people come from generational wealth. So if the white dude was to take her outside of her country or patriarchy, they could rest easy at night. They're not going to be resting easy with Jamal making $52,000 a year. So that's why you don't know the language. You're not making enough money to really scoop her out of her situation comfortably. So it's just, so the original question, from what I understand, do white dudes get the cream of the crop? Am I getting that right? The original question? Well, I'll put it to you like this. What the other dude was saying was kind of true in the respect that they do get finesse more than others. I'll give him that leg up. Here's the other thing. A lot of times, if we're talking the P for P route, a lot of times they just know where to look just to find better girls to pay for. Because if we're just looking at it on a P for P scale, and you say to yourself, well, why do the black guys do P for P and their girls look like sewer rats? And why does Brad do P for P and his girl look like she stepped out of a magazine? That could be attributed to two factors. One, they just know where to look. Maybe they're in a better, more high-end area, which has better establishments for that. Whereas a lot of, let's take the DR for instance, a lot of people just go to the sewer. So you're gonna find rats in the sewer. So if you're gonna pay for rats in the sewer, that's what you're gonna get. So you can't really compare it to, usually, not all, but a lot of white dudes tend to stay at higher end establishment with security because their safety is always in jeopardy depending on where they're at. They stick out. Whereas me and you can go to one of these black and brown countries, we can kind of blend in as long as we don't dress like Americans and we know the language a bit. They can't. So they tend to need more security. More security costs money, which means they're staying in a higher area, which means they're going to probably have more money to pay for higher end girls. If we're talking P for P, if we're talking relationship status, they got a little bit of a home court advantage. And then the second part of that is a lot of you ninjas bring that Negro shit over to these foreign countries. And these foreign countries have cable TV. So once they see the identifiers, okay, he has a snapback cap. Okay, he has shiny belt buckles. Okay, this guy doesn't know how to brush his teeth, comb his hair. Okay, we don't want that. So you're automatically excluded. Brazil's a whole nother animal. That's a whole nother animal.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna drop you in the back. Please stay, because at the end I want to bring everybody up to see what conclusion we get to. But I will say this. All right. Back in the day, before the recession, I used to have a whole bunch of houses. And when I just got in the houses, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it cheap. I'm gonna get that crackhead to come over here and do this work. It ain't gonna cost me but a few dollars to get that crackhead to do it. And I got a lot of crackheads to do it. And when they would do it, later on, I found her broke and I had to get somebody else to come in. I say that to say this. We, black people, are the crackheads. We the crackhead of all these countries. We think we getting a good price because we getting something cheap. Brad says, you know what? I'm going to pay for it. And those women say, I'm down with that. I want to be with Brad. Because they think Brad got more, he treating them a little better, and so Brad is going to get twice, 3 times, 4 times as much because they just hanging it out.
Yeah, because see,
when I pay 4 times as much, but that perception of doing it, you can get it.
Their naivete works for them because now their perception is that, okay, if you get a white guy, he's not going to haggle you for the price. Let's keep it real. Ninjas be calling the zesty line and be trying to haggle peso prices. Oh, last time when I was here, it was 100 pesos less and I got 30 more minutes. So Nobody wants to hear all that. If we're talking, you're that P for P stuff, right?
Mhm.
They notice with the white guy, with the Indian guy, with the Jewish guy, they're not doing this, but they are doing this.
Yep.
So the perception is, you know what? I don't want to take a chance on Jamal and Jenkins. I'd rather go with Brad and Jeremy because they're safe, or Ishmael. You see what I'm saying? And then ninjas don't understand it. It's a 360 assault because it depends on the neighborhood you stay in, your accommodations. We're talking about relationships right now. We're not talking P for P. If you're trying to get a woman, the first thing she might ask you is, where are you staying? The second question she'll ask you is, when are you leaving? Because if you're doing 2 weeks, if you're doing 30 days, you can count any serious relationship happening in any country. They just don't take you seriously. Why? And why should they? Because you're not going to be around. So you're just the next gringo or whatever that's flying in for the weekend, as far as they're concerned. And ninjas don't understand this.
And so much money, man. I mean, there's a place that can be like $20 a night more, make it way more exclusive, way nice, and we go for that cheap dump. And it's like, and when you say it, I mean, when you go to a spot, especially people who live there, and you say, where you staying at, they automatic, because I've said it when I've been like Brazil, I'm like, oh, I'm at I forgot what hotel it is right there on the Atlantic, and they're like, whoa, oh, you stay there? And it's like a whole different thing, like a whole different treatment. Then I seen some dudes down at Post 5 down at the little place. The way they get treated was entirely different. But
Totally
Marty,
different.
I'm gonna bring back. I'm gonna bring Tobias up. Please stay around, brother, because you will be dropping gems on the end. I just want to get through everybody so that we have some time.
Okay, no doubt. Thanks for having me up, man.
You go down to Post 5, it's all brothers. We hang out at Post 5. The other beach that's right around the corner was Ipanema. White people. They only 5 minutes from each other, man. You can take your bike, you can go over there, but we don't, man. We want to stay over there with my man. Don't blame it on Rio. We want to stay. All that area is us. We don't want to go.
I don't be nowhere around those ninjas. Nowhere.
Why is that, man? Why do we have a whole beach, a whole nother beach?
Listen. Are we speaking our mind on this panel, or are we being PC? Because I don't get
it. We past 12. We ready to do whatever we need to. Yeah. You know, I think me and Ronan on 11:30, but everywhere else, we out, man. Bring it out.
30 in the morning, so you know I'm rocking with y'all late.
Oh shit!
It's definitely 1:30 in the morning, so I'm definitely pumping that fuel with y'all. You know, for real. All right, so like the reality is this: niggas is broke. They can't afford to live in Ipanema. They can't afford to live in the higher end neighborhoods. So they're gonna go where they can afford. And unfortunately, I'm not saying Copacabana is cheap. It's still, depending on where you stay. I used to actually stay on that block with that restaurant right next to Copa Palace. So I was there for like 5 months in a penthouse. I have videos on that on my channel. But most people there in the back block somewhere in the boonies, they're near the favela. I mean, you can't come to a country looking like a billboard. That's another thing. Dress code is. There's so many.
I want you to do that because brothers ain't broke in a sense because they'll spend that $200, $300 on shoes and get them some Yeezys and all of that and come down there. They'll do that. So is it? Well, we not broke.
That's almost like saying dudes in the project is rich. They look like the most expensive ninjas you ever saw, but they broke too. It depends on where you put your money. Like you could have $100,000 job and still be broke.
Facts.
Because your spending habits is trash.
Mm-hmm.
So our priorities is all jacked up.
Yeah, so when these guys come to this country, like I said, it's a zesty quest, Diddy fantasy that they always wanted to live. You'll see them. They usually got the shiny belt buckles. They usually got the hat turned to the back. They think, I'm just speaking on Brazil, but you can apply it to any country. Let me throw on my fresh threads and I'm gonna show these people I'm that ninja. But all you doing is making yourself a walking target because you don't understand. Well, I don't know how many people been to Brazil here. The dress code is very casual, right? It's hot, especially spring to summertime. It's very hot. So cotton, you basically dress like you're going to the gym at all times because it's comfortable. Now, if you go to where the money is, New Money, Barra Tijuca, the Village Mall, places like that, you might want to bring a couple of outfits to kind of blend in because you are blending into a higher tier of people. So it would make sense to look like you have a little bit more money than some favela kid. So it's all situational. But we just talking about the Ninja Turtles right now. You Ninja Turtles come to Copacabana, you go to Mabs, you might hit 4x4 and you go from the couch to the beach. You got couch surfers. You even got YouTubers that do this down here. They stay on the couch. They go from the couch to the beach to the couch. They live here 6 to 8 months out the year. No friends, no social circle. Don't speak the language. Have nobody. If something happened, who do you call? Not Ghostbusters. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no social network. So when things happen to you, that's your fault. You know, I have no sympathy. I'm like, listen, to expat to a different country, to live, it also depends on what country, but I wouldn't even think about leaving the States if you're not pulling, and I'm talking about the minimum. This is not even the most. If you're not pulling in 6 racks, you're wasting your time. Because, you know, when you start to compare, you know, United States living, you want to have that same type of lifestyle overseas, right? So just think about it for a second. We could take Brazil, for instance, right? In general, it's 5-1. But then you know, a lot of guys that expat, they don't tie up all their issues in the States. So for instance, if they live in Brazil, they might have a house with a mortgage on it that's sitting, not for rent. It might be a full house. It might not be a 2-family. You still got to pay that mortgage. So now your money is divided. You got taxes, because I don't know what people's money is looking like. Then you have expenses, your cell phone, internet. Now, where do you want to live? Some dudes come out here and live close to favelas. I'm like, why? Like, you know, and that's the difference between white and black. White people, majority of them seem to understand value. Black people say, I'm gonna travel here to save money. My thing is, you should do all the saving money and making money in the States. So when you get out of the States, now you're relaxing. That's the different mindset with stuff. So, you know, you even have people, and it's cool to do it. I'm not knocking it, but you know, I know a lot of guys that do IT here, make pretty decent money. The only problem, and this is not a dig on IT, it's good that you're able to work remotely. The only problem is that's usually a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 or 8 to 6 job, which means you have to be stuck in the vicinity of your computer. All I'm saying is there's a lot that happens in Brazil between 8 and 6. There's a lot that happens. Now, yeah, you could do the nightlife thing, but you're missing a lot. So I just think that when people travel to like live in the countries, I mean, some people are day traders and very successful. If you can do something for 2 or 3 hours in the morning, make your money, and then go live your life and everything's cool, that's great. But you know, it's a lot. Just, you know, it's a lot. But just to get back to the original question, dudes are trying to capture a fantasy moment in their brains, and I'll be honest with you, Brazilian women are gorgeous. But when you live here, like you had mentioned before, you understand, and I mentioned before, there's strata. Over here, it's not strata, it's more of a class system 1 through 10. And Americans sit on top of that 10. off the bat. Now, obviously, you got to have your money together, but we sit as, even as Black Americans, we sit on top of rich and educated Brazilians because we are revered. The problem is they don't know that until you open your mouth. So you know, depending on how you're dressed, what area you're in, you might get a different type of treatment. And especially if you don't know the language, there's like so many factors that play into this. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Brazil is extremely racist.
Yeah.
But you know, I always got to M. Night Shyamalan and shit. It is not racist necessarily by white folks. Ooh, follow me for a second. Follow me. Let me be honest with you. It's not that. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of you dudes that come down here with this pro-Black fantasy, I'm gonna find my African queen, pack it up. I'm gonna burst some bubbles tonight.
Can I jump in for a minute?
Yes, sir.
I'm in Rio right now, bro. So I can speak to what the brother is saying. I know all the places he's talking about. Okay. First of all, we got to be patient with our brothers, man. We just started traveling, man. I mean, we're so judgmental, man. It's like these brothers in a new country. They don't know what's going on, bro. I mean, come on, man. We brand new to this. We virgins to this, bro. Of course, you're going to do what you're comfortable with. If you go somewhere, you see a bunch of brothers like Sasua. That's why brothers go to Sasua. They see other brothers. I mean, come on. Let's just call it what it is. That's why they go, because they see other brothers. They ain't going to compete. Look, if I don't go to the places he's talking about, like Postal 5, I'm not going to meet no brothers. I go to Postal 5 not to get chicks. I go to Postal 5 so I can see some Americans. That's why I go when he's talking about like Mavs. I go there so I can see the brothers. I don't go there to see the chicks. I don't pick no chicks up from Mavs. Because all them prostitutes. I don't go there to pick up chicks. They do, but I don't. I go say what's up to the brothers. Because I ain't going to see no brothers till I go back to the United States. So
Mercy, what state do you live in? Where do you live in?
New Jersey.
All right.
So I say what's up to the brothers when I go there.
If you were to go to New Jersey and you said, I'm going to go down to Miami, would you have to go to the hood in Miami? Or would you say, man, I'm going to go to Miami Beach?
Well, I would go, I've been to Miami, so I would go to Miami Beach. But you got to understand, everybody speak English. So you got communication. You know what I'm saying? See, you're in a different country. People speak Portuguese. So they really speak Portuguese. Everybody speaks Portuguese. They don't speak English. So if I want to speak English, I got to go to Mavs. If I don't go to Mavs, I got to be talking Portuguese. You know what I'm saying? So Miami's a little different because you got communication because everybody's speaking the same language. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a challenge because Marty is in there also. So Marty, if I want to find somebody that speaks English, do I got to go to Postal 5 or where else can I go? And only say that because, and when I was using the analogy of going to New Jersey to Miami.
All right.
When I was moving from one state to the other state, I didn't say I got to go where these Black people are. Meaning I didn't look for the hood. I didn't look for that. I looked for.
See, I take more of a hardline approach. You know, fuck these niggas. These niggas don't get no grace from me. If you are not ready to travel, stay your ass where you from. Do not come to Brazil. No, I'm not talking about the guy in the pen. I'm just talking about in general. This is the problem. When guys go to these different countries, they think they're entitled to grace, much like, you know, the women in the country of USA, they're entitled to your servitude. No, it's you stand on your, listen, if I'm going to a foreign country, I don't want to see none of you ninjas. I am not trying to speak English with none of you Americans. I don't want to meet none of y'all. I'm in a foreign country to have a foreign country experience. And that is part of the problem as to why dudes are having such a tough time, because they're trying to bring America with them. Instead of saying, yo, I'm going to a new country. Let me take off the shiny belt buckles. Let me leave the fitted caps. Let me leave the P for P back in the States and go understand what it is to live like a local. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? Like, when they come to these foreign countries, They congregate in a concentrated area, and this is why the robberies happen. This is why you actually build bad stereotypes, because those areas are highly infested with prostitutes. So when they see all these black guys in this area, the locals already know, and over a 30-year span of time, when a new guy comes like me, maybe the first reaction is, oh, that's another American. I don't want to deal with him. It makes the job tougher on me to actually get ahead, because I'm fighting all these crazy stereotypes that I had nothing to do with, which is why I was like, I don't want nothing to do with COPA. I don't want nothing to do with Postal 5. I don't want to meet no Americans. I'm trying to meet Portuguese women that speak Portuguese and have Portuguese values. You know, now, I mentioned earlier, it's a very racist country. I'll be fair and say that. But again, the M. Night Shyamalan twist, it is not necessarily from the white people. And it's not from the black dudes in Brazil. It's actually from the black women. So this is why I said to you before, if you're coming to Brazil having these Afro queen fantasies, think again. The whitewashing out here is on another level. I have so many crazy stories. If I'm gonna just give you the skimmy. You come to Brazil as a black man, don't go to Copa. If you wanna go P for P all day and all night, go to Mavs, I don't judge, not at all. If that's what you wanna do, cool. But if you actually wanna like live the real experience, if you're doing 2 weeks, go to Leblon, go to Ipanema. Be where they have residential families and do residential things. You see what I'm saying? And you're gonna have the best experience with mulattoes, mixed girls, or white women. You're not really gonna have your African queen, so to speak, because really what it is, she's looking for basic bread at the very least. It don't even matter if you're making a ton of bread, it's not the point. The whitewashing here is cultural. It has nothing to do with your swagnificance. If you think you're gonna come here with your shiny belt buckles and you're gonna make it rain on somebody's forehead, and you think that's gonna be enough to undo 50, 60, 80 years of programming, of Disney programming, of Italian prince coming to scoop her up out of poverty, you got another thing coming to you. Now, am I saying it's impossible? Absolutely not. If you learn the language, and I already know most ninjas are not going to do this, so I'm kind of preaching to dead wood to some degree. If you learn the language, you get your money together. Also, physically, let me get to camera number 2. Physically, you got to be on point down here. I'm going to tell you why. This is not Thailand where the men are 3 feet tall. This is a place where everybody works out. It looks like they eat rice and beans and rocks or something on both sides. The women look, built. The men are staying in the gym. So this is your competition. Now, this is where your money only goes but so far. Because I see a lot of dudes go to the beach, and it's not just Postal 5. It's everywhere. You could tell when they're American or from foreign countries. Pot bellies, pasty skin, bad health, just looking a whole lot of mess, expecting to get nice looking women. And then the third thing I'll say is a lot of these dudes have incel tendencies. They have no social skills. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to relate to people. All they know how to do is be an American when you go overseas. And this is another reason why a lot of dudes run into problems. They don't know how to build a social network. I look at it like this. If you've been to a place more than 3 times, you should have some friends. All right?
Exactly.
You should be able to say by the 3rd time, let's be honest now, you should have some friends that live in this country where you can pick up the phone and say, look, 4 weeks I'll be there. Plan B, whatever that might be. And things should happen before you get there. So when you land, you're not being a Tinder warrior. You're not going to Colombia looking like a fool in Parqueadas. You understand? You're not trying to go, I don't even know if the clock tower is still functional, but you're not late night trying to hang out at the clock tower trying to post something. You're not doing the pay for play thing looking like a moron. By the 3rd time, you should have a realtor on deck that can get you the type of place that you need for you or your people. You should have some friends that you can call up and set up some things going on. You should have something. If every time you go to a different country, it's like the first time, you're the problem. And there's no grace I'm going to give you. I don't care what block you're from, what hood you're from. You're a real nigga back in the streets, but you're nobody here. You got to understand, when people come here, they always talk about where they're from. I'm from East Side, Peru, whatever. And I always say, it's not where you're from, it's where you ain't. You ain't in America no more. You are literally outnumbered 1,000,000 to 1. Last month, there was a kid, Brazilian. He was in Botafogo, right? They showed the video. I don't know if you guys seen this. Skinny dude hops off a motorcycle. It was 2 of them. Dude hops off the back, grabs the guy's cell phone. He's with his girlfriend. The guy was a little bit bigger, so he starts to fight the guy a little bit. It looked like he's, getting into a little tussle. Skinny dude pulled out a gun, shot him 2 times. He bled out. He's dead. Same thing happened to one dude in Cartagena for his little cheap gold chain. You gotta understand something, that y'all guys come here with the wrong concept of what this is. It's not pretty. It could be nice, but when you come with that energy of I'm American, I want to see and talk to other Americans, you're gonna have problems long term. If you're coming here to visit 2 weeks, then it's whatever, man. But I'm trying to tell you, long term, dudes are gonna have some issues. And it's not just Brazil. Look at Colombia. I was in Medellin. Can all tell you, when we was there back in 2012, it was like a paradise. I mean, all the stuff that you guys are running into in terms of scoping and getting robbed and getting shot in the streets and stabbed and all this, they didn't have that back then because we didn't have, YouTube wasn't really blowing it up like that, to get all these extra people coming there. But we weren't coming there with the thought of, we're going to toss money around. We actually came there and just tried to blend in. You see what I'm saying? And the people respected that. Like me, I'm not a fluent Portuguese speaker, but I am taking lessons and all my friends are Portuguese. And they see me trying to speak the language and they're helping me on my daily journeys. And more importantly, I'm building a